Hey guys, and welcome back. Hope everyone is doing good. Night story is called A Night in the Forest. So let's jump into it. Sit back and relax. The forest was quiet that night. Not the kind of quiet that feels empty, but the kind that feels full. Full of soft sounds, distant whispers, and slow breathing of earth itself. A small campfire crackled gently in cleared surrounding by tall pine trees. The dark silhouettes stretched up towards the sky. Their needles whispered softly whenever the wind passed through. Above the trees, the night sky was wide and deep. Stars shimmered faintly through drifting clouds that moved slowly, lazy, like they had nowhere else to be. And beside that fire sat a traveler. He had been walking most of the day. Miles of winding trails, dirt roads, and quiet streams that crossed the path like silver ribbons. His boots were dusty, his jacket smelled faintly of pine sap and wood smoke. But now, he was resting. The fire warmed his hands while the gently crackle of burning wood filled the quiet air. He leaned back slight against the fallen log and listened. Somewhere far away, an owl called into the darkness. A soft "ooh, ooh." The traveler smiled to himself. There was something comforting about the forest. Cities never truly sleep. Lights buzzing, cars moving, voices echoing through the streets. But out here, the night belonged to softer things. The wind, the tree, the quiet creatures that moved through the underbrush. And the fire. The traveler added another small log to the flames. It caught slowly, glowing orange before a small flame pulled around its edge. Tiny sparks floated upward into the cool night air. For a moment they looked like little stars rising from the earth. Then they disappeared. He pulled his coat a little tighter and looked around the clearing. It was a simple place. A circle of stones around the fire, a patch of soft pine needles underfoot, and tall trees forming a protective wall around the camp. It almost felt like the forest had made the clearing just for this moment, just for the fire, just for a quiet traveler passing through. The wind shifted gently, carrying the warm scent of smoke and pine. It reminded him of many nights like this. Long roads, quiet camps, and the peaceful feeling of being far away from the noise of the world. He reached into his bag and pulled out a small metal cup. From a warm tin, he scooped a bit of tea leaves and poured warm water from a small kettle he had set near the fire. Soon, a soft herbal scent drifted into the night air. Steam curled slowly from the cup as he held it between his hands. Warm, comforting, the kind of warmth that sinks deep into your fingers. He took a slow sip. Somewhere nearby, leaves rustled gently. The traveler looked up. For a moment, the forest was still again. Then a small deer stepped quietly between the trees at the edge of the clearing. It paused. Its ears twitched slightly as it studied the fire and the travelers sitting beside it. Neither moved. The travelers simply sat there, calm, breathing slowly. Animals often sensed when someone meant no harm. The deer lowered its head slightly and took another curious step forward. The firelight reflected softly in the dark eyes. For moments, The two simply shared a quiet space together, the traveler and the gentle creature of the forest. Eventually, the deer turned its head toward the deeper woods. Something caught its attention. With a soft step, then another, it slipped silently back between the trees, and just like that, it was gone. The traveler chuckled softly under his breath. Moments like this were special. You couldn't plan them. You couldn't force them. They simply happened. When the night was calm enough, the fire burned gently enough. The tea had cooked, cooled slightly now, but it was still warm. He took another slow sip and leaned back again. Above the treetops, the clouds had drifted away. Now the stars were brighter, thousands of them scattered across the sky like grains of silver sand. He watched them for a while. Sometimes people forget how big the sky really is. In towns and cities, lights hide the stars, but here, out in the quiet forests, the sky feels endless. A soft breeze passed through the clearing again, stirring the branches high above. The fire crackled gently in response, wood shifting, coals glowing. The traveler felt his eyelids growing heavier, not the kind of tired that feels exhausting, but the peaceful kind that comes from a long day outdoors, from walking beneath the trees, from breathing fresh air, from sitting beside a warm fire under the open sky. He placed his empty cup beside his bag and stretched his legs towards the fire. The warmth soaked through his boots. Somewhere in the distance, a stream flowed quietly over smooth stones. Its soft rushing sound blended with the whisper of the wind. Together they created a gentle rhythm, nature's own lullaby. The traveler pulled a thick blanket from his back and wrapped it loosely around his shoulders. The fire was still going strong, but the night air had grown colder. He watched the flames dance slowly, orange, gold, occasionally a flash of blue near the base where the wood burned hottest. Fire had always been fascinating, alive in its own way, always moving, always changing, and yet deeply calming to watch. Another log settled deeper into the coals with a soft pop. A few sparkles spiraled upwards. They rose slowly into the darkness, drifting higher and higher, until they disappeared among the stars. The traveler breathed slowly, in and out. The forest breathed with him, went through the branches, leaf shifting softly, distant water flowing over stones, all of it blending together in one peaceful moment. The fire began to burn lower now, not dying, just settling, turning from bright flames into glowing coals, the kind that gives steady warmth through the night. The traveler leaned his head back against the log and closed his eyes for a moment. The warmth of the fire touched his face. The cool night air brushed softly across his cheeks. It was the perfect balance, warm and cool, light and dark, quiet and peaceful. Somewhere above, a final cloud drifted slowly across the moon. The clearing dimmed slightly, but the fire still glowed warmly in the center of the stones. A quiet little sun on the forest floor. The traveler opened his eyes one last time. He looked around the clearing. The tall pines, the soft ground, the gentle coals glowing like tiny embers of gold. Everything felt safe, still, peaceful. Tomorrow he would continue his journey, More trails, more forests, maybe another quiet camp beneath the stars. But for now, there was only the fire, only the calm forest night, only the gentle warmth of the coals and the soft whisper of the wind in the trees. The traveler pulled the blanket a little closer. His breathing slowed. The fire gave one last soft crackle as another ember shifted in the ash. And the quiet forest held the clearing in its peaceful silence. The fire would burn low through the night. The stars would slowly drift across the sky, and somewhere in the tall pines, the wind would keep whispering in soft, endless lullaby till morning. Have a good night, guys. Stay blessed.